continuing through our AliExpress locks, I have this Euro style Dimple, which I've chopped in half. I bought a few of these and chopped them up, so I've got 6 ends now because they were really cheap. So I thought I'd buy a few to swap with people locally. So if you are local and you want one, let me know. Come with a few keys. So they come with a red construction key and some normal operating keys. So the idea is that the red key operates the lock as per normal. You would give that to your building company, and when they're finished building and you want to go and check the place, you stick in your black key, turn the lock 360, drop some ball bearings out into other places, and then the red key will cease to function and only the black keys will work. That way you can, have builders in on the site building the place and then not need to hand the locks over or change the locks when you hand over the building, which is clever. Lots of different companies do that. That's not a new AliExpress idea. But also lots of AliExpress locks and Chinese locks generally like to say they do that and just lie. So I'm interested to see if there's actually a difference, because the key biddings are at least different. So that's good. Some of the other ones I've done, they're identical. So this one's a high cut, this one's a low cut. So probably there's just construction ball bearing on that last position. And of the bunch of different AliExpress ones of these I bought 3 sets. They all have different keys. So that's also a bonus because you can't really trust that they will with China. But anyway, so I got a Z-bar here and I got a multi-pick number. Which one's this one? Number 3, the big fat sort of wide flag, which goes off to the right. So I'm going to tensioning counterclockwise and rotating, tensioning clockwise, picking counterclockwise, so they're picking into each other. So medium is tension, just slide under until I can find something binding. There's quite a few pins, but don't expect there to be much in the way of security. Possibly there'll be a spool, but probably not more than one, and it probably won't work very well if there is one at all. Usually these things are just standard. Sometimes they've got a bump stop pin. I haven't tried to pick this one yet, but it's my experience with a few of other these really cheap style ones. Just looking for something binding. There we go, that was a good click. Bit of a tap out of something down the back. Good click there. Sometimes they just feel like sponge, especially these really cheap locks. Tolerances can be so bad it actually makes them a bit harder. Come on, what are we stuck on? Oh, that was something. Now we've got some more binding pins. There's another click and a bit of core rotation. And there's number 1. There we go. So we were just stuck on a little, probably semi-tapered lip on something. Maybe it was a spool. I don't know. It didn't kind of rotate. So I'll leave it like that. We're not going to 360 it. Don't want to get construction keying into weird places, so we'll lock that back up. See that our key does still work. Good. Now, got to get this C-clip off, and of course, as is typical, I've left my actual C-clip pliers in the other damn room, so we're going to have to do it the bodge way. Try and hook on this and get it off with a screwdriver. Okay, that should come off. Easier with the actual C-clip pliers, but come on, get off. There we go. C-clip removed. Slide that out of the way. All right. Also, because I've cut this in half, it's no longer like tip stopped, or like the shoulder is not in the right place, so you can actually overextend the key, and that doesn't work. The actuator, when it was connected, did prevent that from happening, but that has been removed. We need a follower. Really do want a shim, especially with Chinese locks. Could be bloody anything in there. There's a shim. If I can get it in, yep. Nice and loose fitting, that tells you something. All right. Oh yeah, see, this is why we use a shim. Because sometimes you find cores like this. Oop, there's that ball bearing. Skeletonized. So they can mill out all of these sections of the brass that isn't needed and reuse it, saving a few cents per lock, maybe 1 cent per lock, but you know, you're making things on a Chinese scale. That does matter. So once the ball bearing comes out, I guess it gets, I can't see where that would get captured. I guess it would fall into here. It just falls into the keyway? Doesn't seem like a great design. Oh well, let's get these pins out anyway. Tweezers. 1, 2, oops. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's our core. So you can see quite a lot of ovaling on here, which will make it quite a bit easier. Skeletonized doesn't make a difference to difficulty. It just means it's a lot more fragile to wear. It's going to fill up with more dirt and gunk over time because there's a lot more places for it to get stuck. And it's a lot more hazardous when gutting. You can see the super high quality machining that they've done in there. Maybe you can see that. Not exactly even. Pretty standard for Chinese locks. Bit of unfinished brass there, just floating. Snap that off. That's a very small ball bearing. I'm just not entirely sure. When you lift this up out of this chamber, I guess it falls there and just into the key. Yeah, it's just going to fall in the keyway. I expected to find another drilled hole that it would rest into, but I guess not. Fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. No, all right. Let's get those drivers out. Probably going to be all standard, but you never know. 2. Standard. Oop. Standard. standard, and standard. Well, that's about what I expected to find, but you do get 7 of them, so, you know, that's not nothing. You can see the front of that, how well machined the face of this is. It came from a factory like that, so not super great. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But then there are 8 holes in here. I don't know why. 8 holes, 7 pins, core only drilled for 7. Why is there an 8th one? Maybe they sell an 8-pin version as well. Or they were going to and they changed their mind. Who knows? But there we go. Let's get you the close-up of that. So there you go. Nothing too exciting or standard, but there is that construction ball bearing that looks like it's just designed to fall into the middle of the lock and get lost and jangle around somewhere, which is not perhaps the best way of doing that, but it is China. So there we go. There's those. So yes, that would then put this key in. It will lift that ball bearing up as well, and it will get nowhere. Where's it going to go? There's nowhere for it to go with the key in. I don't know. Anyway.